Hello.
Hello, how are you? Hot?
Good, good, good. You're very hot. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's literally the weather is crazy.
So
Um,
tomorrow.
Sorry that I'm sat in front of this. This is a bit of a bad backdrop, but I'm moving house and this is literally the only corner that isn't stuffed with stuff. But yeah, this is episode 3. We're going to talk about our Kundalini activation class we went to, and like what is Kundalini, and yeah, our experience with it. So, did you want to talk about what it is to start?
Yeah. I'll go through, I'll try and keep it brief. So Kundalini is a concept from certain traditions of Indian spirituality and yoga. It's basically a latent spiritual energy, a feminine energy that is said to reside at the base of your spine. And apparently everyone has this energy, but in most people it remains dormant or coiled, which is where the word comes from. Kundalini means coiled.
Oh, okay,
And
I saw that.
you can awaken it by meditation, yoga, breath work, or a Kundalini awakening, like we did. And this awakening, um, it apparently it rises through your chakras until it reaches the crown of your head.
Hmm.
Um, it's a spiritual insight, transformation, or enlightenment. Enlightenment, yeah. And basically, um, generally, you feel tingling, vibrations. If anyone's watched it online, you see these quite dramatic
People
classes where,
like, yeah,
yeah, yeah, heat, heightened awareness, emotion. So people cry, laugh, um, and just feeling connected, insights, mystical experiences. Um, and yeah, basically, there's 7 chakras throughout your body from your sort of feet to your crown, and it's meant to go through and kind of work through those chakras. That's probably
yeah,
not
like
quite exactly it,
unblock
but
all
that's
like
kind of
all
the basis.
negative stuff, isn't it? And
Yeah, yeah.
bring
I think
like
each chakra
spiritual
might release,
awakenings.
yeah, and release something different. So that's kind of what it is,
Hmm.
roughly.
I was saying like before, you remember, well, just before we started recording, I was saying like I was like I'm sure I remember this from years ago, and I looked it up. I was like, was Madonna not into like Kundalini? And I looked it up, and she did do Kundalini yoga, and that's where her album Ray of Light was inspired. So that must have been ages ago. I don't know where that memory came from, but I
Oh,
do you not remember that in like magazines and stuff, that it was like she was really into
no.
Kundalini yoga, um,
So what's
which is
Kundalini
another
yoga, where you do positions, like yoga positions whilst...
yeah, I think it's a lot of breath work. So I think like Kundalini
Oh,
is the energy that is like said to
yeah,
be coiled at the base of your spine.
yeah,
And then you can activate that through different things like yoga, breath work, and like the activation that we did that kind of like attempts to bring it on. But I think yoga, I think maybe I've never done a Kundalini yoga class, but I assume it would be like with the breath work and stuff and just working on that energy. I don't
yeah,
actually know. But yeah, I
yeah.
looked it up, and that
That's quite good.
it was that. So it must be like a memory. Maybe that's what like made me interested in it in the first
Yeah,
place, but I
yeah,
just didn't remember.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's meant to bring like spiritual awakening. So when you awaken that energy, um, yeah, it can help with like deeper intuition and all of that stuff. So we did a Kundalini activation class, um, where yeah, it's meant to. I wrote this down. So the facilitator is there to transmit like a specific energy frequency. Um, that is meant to stimulate your that raw life force energy in you. So it's just like an activation class
yeah.
that. But then
Right.
some people do say that it is you have to be careful not just to go from nothing to like
Yeah,
full
yeah,
awakening.
yeah.
Um, because I think
So
if you
what
don't
was...
know what it is, I think it's so powerful.
Yeah, yeah, I did read that actually. But you've done it before, haven't you? You did it, I don't know, was it a
Yes.
year ago or...
I don't know how long ago. Well, yeah, at least 6 months ago, I went and did one. No, it must have been longer, was it? But well, just between 6 months and a year ago, I think. I went, and I remember because I remember telling you about it. And what's weird is after the first one, because when you came this last week when we went, I think I said to you before, I was like, oh, you might think Was that it? Like
Yeah.
afterwards, like after obviously we were like last week talking about our ayahuasca experience, and then you go into this, you think, oh, I don't know what I was expecting to happen in the first one because
Yeah.
there's like quite loud music, and then the lady who did it was absolutely amazing, but she goes around and like speaks light language, doesn't she? And she kind of like
Mm.
comes around you, and it is like a. I did go that first one, go into a really deep like meditative state, but I don't know what I was expecting to happen. And then I kind of like came round from that, and it was more stuff that happened after that was more powerful for me.
Mm.
But during the actual class, I suppose I was a bit more in my mind and was like, oh, like what am I meant to be feeling here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but then this last one, I did have more stuff going on.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, after that first one, so I kind of so it's about like an hour, is it? The class? Or was
Yeah.
it was over a couple of hours, but maybe like the music and stuff it feels like about an hour, do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. I thought so. I felt
Um,
like it went
and
really quick.
yeah, that the first one it did feel really quick, but you kind of go in and the lady that does ours is like tarot cards, isn't there? That you can like pick a card.
Yeah.
And weirdly the messages were quite like did feel quite spot on. And she has crystals and stuff and all of that kind of thing. Um, and then yeah, it's about an hour probably with all the music and everything. And yeah, like I said, not much really happened during the first one, but I don't even know how long after it was, maybe a week or 2 weeks. I was just laying in bed and I could not sleep. And so it's gonna sound like a really crazy I felt like a crazy person telling the story, but it's like it was so real. So a couple of weeks after I'd kind of like forgotten about it and I could not get to sleep, tossing and turning for like honestly for hours. And it must have been like midnight, 1 in the morning. And I was like, I just don't feel right at all. And then I was like, I went to like wake my husband up because I just thought, oh, and I kind of put my arm out. But then all of a sudden I was like, no, I am going to be sick. I'm going to be sick here. I'm going to be sick. And I thought what was happening had all this like rush of energy is the only way I can describe it from like my stomach. So that's why I thought I was going to be sick, like up. But as it came up, and again, I thought I was being sick, but it wasn't. All of a sudden, it was like, it felt like my chest kind of just like exploded is the only way I can describe it. It just felt like, like in a second, it just went, woof, and then like my throat as well. And I was like, oh my God. And I like thought I was sitting up and went to like shout my husband, just called John. But as I like forced
I
myself
was
to
really
this
shocked.
story, I know it's like stay with it. But no, as I went to sit up to be like, oh my God, and like shouted John, and I thought I was sitting up, like my physical body was sitting up, but I quickly realized that it was like almost like my energetic body is the only way I can describe it. So I sat up and went, John, John, like to wake him up. And I put my arms out like that. All of a sudden it felt like my arms just went on forever. And my voice, as I said, John, the like voice went on forever. And I realized that I wasn't physically sitting up. Like I said, it was obviously just like, it was almost like I'd popped out of
Come
my
out of
body.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was kind of like, I was sat up. My arms went on forever. My voice went on forever. So it was like, roar, like that. And then I was all within a split
Tickles me
second.
every time.
It sounds so ridiculous, but and then in a split second, it was like, can't explain it, but I completely expanded into everything is the only way to describe it. It was like a split second of just complete, um, peace isn't the right word, but it was just like everything. And it was like everything made sense in
Wow.
this, I can't really describe it because it's literally a split second, but I was like, oh yeah, everything
Yeah.
made sense. Like I just went on forever and it was just this like insane moment.
Mm.
And then with that, it was like I was back in my body and I kind of realized what had happened. But I think that must be a full blown Kundalini awakening. So it's like we've had
Mm.
the activation. And I was like, when you hear other people speak, I'm like, I think that's what it was, but I still don't. I feel like I know for sure. But like afterwards, it was like I was back in my body. It's like 1 in the morning or whatever. And I could not, my whole body was just completely um vibrating almost, and like honestly my heart was beating out of my chest. It was just the craziest experience, just to be laying in bed and then for that to happen
Mm.
was just mad. And I
Yeah.
didn't quite put two and two together almost. I was like, I did not know what had happened. And I like, yeah, woke my husband up and was just like, but I didn't know what to say. And then I almost had this thought of like, don't say that out loud. He's gonna think you're crazy. I was like, kind of like holding on to him. But yeah,
Oh.
that must be what. that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I haven't had that after. I did wonder, like, oh, I'll go to the second activation. It's like, what will there be something different happen? But nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing like that has happened. But
I
I
think,
wonder if that's what it is. It's like the energy just it's been activated and it's like blasting out of you. That's the only way I can describe it.
yeah. And when you said about, it was a split second and you just felt like you were
So
everything and everything made sense. I think I think when you told me, I hadn't obviously been to the ayahuasca retreat. So even though I believe you as much as I can, having never ever
I
experienced
even don't
any.
believe it myself, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm like,
You
I'm
do, you
saying it and
kind of
I'm like,
think,
I know how crazy this
yeah,
sounds.
and you kind of think, "Oh, was it a dream? Was it like
Yeah,
an,"
yeah, yeah.
that sort of thing. But now that I've experienced what I experienced, I can understand that, what you said about the split second where you just feel like you're
It's just
everything, you're kind of we're all one, whatever that like,
yeah. But
it's
and I
like
can't
it
even
that
it
I
wasn't
had
as if
that
I got like
recently.
this message or anything. It was literally just like a feeling, but I can't really explain that feeling.
No,
But it was
it's just a knowing,
so
isn't it? It's almost,
intense.
yeah.
Yeah, like a no yeah, just a I don't know. But then I questioned that from then. And even now I'm like, "Oh, was I?" But it's not it wasn't a dream, and I know I was awake, and I was thinking my mind laying there thinking, I think I'm gonna be sick, something's happening." Um, so yeah, it's really bizarre, and I was kind of like half waiting for something like that to happen again, but unfortunately it hasn't. What about you with your first what did you
So I tried not to look too much into it because I'm an overthinker and I struggle anyways for my brain to sort of go
Mhm,
quiet. But I'm not going to look into it because I'll be questioning, should this be happening? Why is that not happening? So I just kind of went into it
mhm,
blind, really. And then um, I'm just trying to think. Oh, so when we went there, it was lovely room, wasn't it? Lovely lady. She had
mhm,
the tarot cards out. We pulled a card. Mine
yeah,
was be brave, and that was quite, I was like, actually that's becoming a bit of a thing because I was so nervous about this Kundalini thing,
yeah,
because I've become really nervous of going to a dark place because I had an up and down experience with the ayahuasca. It's kind of
yeah,
made me fearful. So I'm always anything to do with now putting a mask on. I think I've just become a bit. So it said be brave, and I was like, that's actually really
mhm,
quite. At the moment, it's a thing for me. This all of these things that we've been doing has highlighted that I'm fearful of a lot of things, that anything that's not in my comfort zone, I sort
yeah,
of avoid it, and some of
yeah.
it's quite basic stuff. So that was really anyway. So we lay down, don't we? Music pumped up, brilliant music,
Mhm. That's
and
so good.
eye mask, yeah, blanket. Initially, I had that fight or flight where I was like, I just had this feeling of I just need to go. I just need to get out of here. I think it was just not because the music was so loud, and I know that she's walking around. I was just thinking like, what's she doing? Is she like? It was. I don't know. I just felt like I needed to
Mhm,
go, but I just was like, no, it'd be fine. La la la, and and then I just sort of settled, felt a bit. One minute I felt fine, then I felt uncomfortable again. And then after about 20 minutes, half an hour, I just randomly started to shake uncontrollably from my sort of waist down, and then my teeth were chattering. And then I was just like, oh, okay, this is quite,
like, it's
something's
doing
happening.
something.
Something's happening. And every now and then I felt like I could feel her presence. When she touched me, I remember just sort of, I don't know if it was not the shock, but because you're not expecting it, made me kind
Yeah,
of shudder. So I don't know if it was that or genuinely her touch. And she sort of planted her fingers on my forehead, which just felt, I don't know what, I felt an energy or something. It was a
mhm,
nice thing. But yeah, basically I just shook through the whole thing. It wasn't fear or anything. It was just like, I don't know. Just really cold and just yeah, physically just couldn't stop shaking. Had that blanket. It was really warm in there, wasn't it?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it was really, and you also you do have the blanket and you had your jumper, and
yeah,
it was warm, so it's like it's like whatever you think, if you think, "Oh, it's in my mind," or whatever, like that the physical stuff that happens,
yeah. How
it's
can you
like
explain? Yeah,
yeah,
it was really weird. It was like wizardry. And then she just then what did she do? Tell us all to just take our masks. I'm trying to think.
At the end, so, like, there's
Yeah,
the
how did
music and
she
stuff, and then she does, like, a little bit of breath work, doesn't she, at, like, the beginning and at the
Yes.
end.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'd forgotten that.
At the end of so you also because you're, like, kind of on what our one, we were on yoga mats, like, almost, like, around in a circle. So then you
Yeah.
do hear other people, and she said, you know, if you hear other people going through things, it says this is, like, moving this energy within you. Like, people do, like, sometimes release things. There's, like, people crying, like, one lady was laughing, like you said, your body was almost shaking. I almost, like, got, like, a wave. It was almost like a wave of energy, like, going up and down, and I had, like, real pins and needles on one side. At one point, my hands were, like, moving, and then at the end, she came over me, and I just burst, like, it was near the end, but I just burst into tears, and it
Mm,
wasn't like I was thinking about anything particular or whatever, so it's like,
East.
what is this? Because it's literally
Yeah,
music on, and
yeah,
then she's walking around, and she's
yeah.
speaking that, like, light language. You should do another whole episode of light language and what it is, because I love hearing it,
I
and
love listening
it's like,
to
you know.
it. It's beautiful.
Mhm. Just like
So nice.
the
Yeah,
language of the soul, and she was like, "You don't need to understand it, but you just listen to it almost like it's music," which I was trying
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
But it's like,
exactly.
but what is happening? What is happening that everyone
Mm,
is having these reactions?
yeah, yeah, I know.
It's difficult to, and I almost get, like, kind of messaging, almost like psychic messaging and stuff while you're laying there. It's like, it is amazing, and I would definitely wanna do it again, but it just blows my mind because I was like, "You've all literally just walked in
Yeah,
with your pillows and that, laid down, and then all of this stuff is happening." It's just amazing, like, the energy in the
yeah,
room.
yeah. I did say to her at the end, didn't I? "Can you see the energy?" And she said, "No, she can't see it, but she can feel it and see when it's affecting you or when she can see it on us or
Yeah.
something." Do you remember? She said something
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, um,
She's great. I would
hopefully no.
definitely want to go back to, yeah, more of her stuff. Would you do it again?
Yeah, definitely, I would. I'd like to. I think what I found afterwards was, which freaked me out a bit, was I went home and I just felt really angry, like really fed up about nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
Remember?
you had this experience after, yeah.
Yeah, so I just went home and I was just in a really, like, bit of a crabby mood. And then I thought, why am I in a I've got nothing to be in a bad mood about. I just couldn't, and I was thinking I've just been out and had a nice, just laid on my back listening to music for the last hour and a half. Like, what's these things you think are meant to be all positive? Um, and I just felt really, really down and just miserable, like, just but more angry actually. And then I went to bed and I woke up throughout the night just feeling angry. Like the birds were singing, I was angry. The sun rose, that annoyed. Yeah, everything was annoying me. So I messaged her. I'll actually see if I can find a little bit of her reply. I messaged her and basically said, because I was a bit freaked out. I was like, this is horrendous. I've undone something, or I've been in a really good place. The ayahuasca was just, life changing. And I just felt like I'd gone backwards and just felt
Mhm,
really negative and angry. Um, so I think her reply is quite interesting. So I basically just told her that and said, I'm just a bit concerned.
uh-huh,
And she was basically said that, you're not going backwards. It's quite normal for emotions, memories that are ready to be seen and released to come to the surface. And anger, maybe asking to be witnessed rather than pushed away. It's a fierce feminine and sacred rage can surface also with Kundalini activation and can
mhm.
for some
I feel
people
that.
be deeply healing.
Mhm,
Just try not to analyze it too much. Spend time in nature, etc. Scream into a pillow, she said, but it's part of the journey that may feel intense right now, but it will likely pass. And it did. Within a day or two, it just started to lift, and then yeah,
mhm,
it just went. And then I did a bit more, started to do a bit of research and listen to some podcasts about it. And I was like, oh, actually, it's quite a big thing, Kundalini. There's a
mhm.
lot of people that are like, don't go into this not understanding it, which seems to be a common,
Our theme.
yeah. Um, and that it's about the uncoiling of this feminine energy that's
Yeah.
coming working throughout, and it can release all sorts of things. And then online I was finding things about people having to be admitted to psychiatric hospitals, so that's why I had a bit of like a panic about that.
As
But
I
luckily
talk you down off the ledge.
Mhm.
But you
Yeah,
can understand though, like, it is quite intense, like, the feelings, like, what happened with me, and, like, the stuff that happened with you with the anger and stuff afterwards is so intense that
Yeah,
if you just gone into that and then weren't self-aware and weren't kind of working on this stuff and have kind of knowledge of it, you can understand why it would just be so overwhelming that you can't deal with it.
definitely, definitely. Yeah.
And also what's interesting, you know, when I saw you and I said, remember my mouth? I was like, oh my God, I'd really been
Yeah,
biting down
sure.
that week. I'd been biting down at night. And I don't know, I am moving. So I don't know if I've just been stressed
Yeah.
with that, but I was really biting down on my tongue, but so much that I'd like giving myself like ulcers and I couldn't stop. And then I came to you and you were like, oh, that's interesting because you had exactly the same thing and looked it up. And it
Mm,
said that as like the energy is moving, it can
mm.
get stuck around your like throat
In your
chakra and
throat
stuff.
chakra. So I had
Yeah.
an achy jaw, so my jaw just felt like I was angry and tense all the time, but it was to the point where it was making my jaw ache so much, and then I just thought, "Oh," the only thing I could think of was that Kundalini, so I Googled it, and it's, like, really, really common that people get.
Yeah, which is mad that I had that too.
Yeah, and I didn't know you had that, and you didn't know I had that. It was only because you said about you'd been biting down, and I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I Googled that last night, and apparently it's quite a common."
It almost made me feel unwell. Like I had all like my throat was sore and I'd like bitten down on my tongue and then I had these like, ulcers and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, for you to have the same thing, I wonder if that's what it is. Cause I think a lot of people get that like energy stuck in their throat chakra, like being able to say what we want and all of that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'd definitely like to do some more sort of research into it, understand it, and go back and do
yeah.
it. It was
Yeah,
really,
maybe
really interesting.
we could do another episode
Yeah,
once we know a bit more. We know it's like
yeah,
Madonna doing Kundalini yoga.
yeah.
And it's just
No,
like, yeah, I wonder, and I would love, like, if anyone out there other than my mum is watching this, um,
hi,
that
Anne.
knows, and that knows about, like a full Kundalini awakening, because it's like, that must be what happened to me after. If you think it was maybe like a couple of weeks, I need to like look into it,
Mm,
the time frames, but it must have been like a
mm.
week or two after that it was such an intense experience, like just going to bed and all of a sudden it was like I shot out of my body. And it was just the way my arms went on forever. It was just like it just in this split second.
It's the
Whoa,
way you tell
um,
it. It's just John.
Dawn. But obviously I wasn't actually shouting that. It's like
It's
when you
brilliant.
woke up, it was obviously like, what the hell? But like, is that
Was
what
you
a Kundalini
scared or?
awakening is? Like, you're like when the energy bursts out of you, like you see, and I was like Googling and you hear people talking about it, and like not quite the same, but yeah, I would love to hear from someone else that's like, like that is what that is, and I've
Yeah,
woken that energy or
yeah,
whatever. I don't know. Who
yeah,
knows?
definitely. Did you ever tell the lady that that had happened, or did you not get round
No,
to?
so I didn't know. I should actually message her because I haven't actually messaged her after either of them. And I should do and explain that because she obviously gave such a good message back to you. I think after it happened, I just felt so like, oh, this must be in my mind that I just have kind of obviously told you and now
Yeah,
putting it on here because it was like so intense. But
yeah,
yeah, it was almost like, oh no, I didn't really want to tell anyone because I
yeah.
do realize it's that to me, it sounds a bit mad.
Mm,
But then you do hear other people talking about that. So maybe that is what happened. But yeah,
yeah,
maybe I should message her and then,
I would.
um,
I'd love to know what
yeah,
she said.
yeah, because to her, it's funny because like for us, I find, and that's why I just love like doing this podcast. It's almost like we're learning about stuff. But I
Mm,
feel like we both have got like cynical pasts, if you know what I mean. Like we're a bit like like suspicious of everything. Yeah,
oh,
it's like
yeah.
a calling to do all of this stuff, but I am still
Mm,
cynical of everything. And anything
mm,
that happens, I'm a bit like, oh, yeah, really, or have you just made that up? But you can't.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can't
we sort
deny it, but
no, exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's like a battle, isn't it, in your head all the time
mhm.
of
Whereas when
so
you speak to someone like the lady that did the class and she just it's just, like, so obvious to her, and it's like, I'd love
mm,
to get to that point because
yeah,
it's like that, I do understand it, but yeah, I just have that kind of
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, hopefully she's gonna do them again, so we should definitely in the next few months, because if we've started something, kind of wanna finish it.
might as well go, yeah, until we're completely enlightened.
Yeah.
Cool, wow, I think is there anything else you wanna say about Kundalini?
No, I think that was it. Generally good experience, um, but it's not yeah, expect if you do it, do expect that it's not just like sound bath, or there potentially is effects while you're there and effects after. I think that's what I didn't realize.
Pop out of your body at 1 a.m.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I didn't realize, that it could change my mood negatively. So
Hmm.
I think, yeah, just being aware of that. But no, I definitely would do it again. And I'm interested to learn more actually in depth
Hmm.
about it. Uh,
Do you feel like with that anger that you had, do you feel that there is something up and out of you? Do you think that, or
it's really difficult because there's other like life things going on at the moment. Nothing major, but like we're both trying to move house, etc. So it's hard. Sometimes it's really difficult to sort of gauge these things because there's then life stresses and just this weather as well actually stressing
yeah?
me out. So I
Let's go
don't
and have.
know.
We just need a nice cool drink. I'm basically drinking my way through the house move, but I'm packing up. That's like my coping strategy, which doesn't
Oh,
really fit in with this
I do feel for you.
Zen podcast. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, moving in this weather actually. That's that's
Oh
like,
my God. It's more just
oh
the packing all the tiny little kids things and stuff,
yeah,
but I'll get through it.
yeah, you'll do it. You'll do it. You'll be in
Yeah.
there before you do it. Yeah. So
All
so no,
right.
yeah, no, all good from me, and we'll just continue, and next time hopefully we'll know even more and have some more experiences, especially you.
Yeah. Oh God. Alrighty. Well, I will see you tomorrow.
See you
And yeah,
tomorrow.
until next week.
Okay, see you.
Bye.
Bye.